The forgotten episode, are you watching or being watched? Have you ever felt like something was watching you from the shadows? What if your favorite anime held a secret so terrifying, it blurred the line between fiction and reality? Prepare to question everything you thought you knew. Renji, a name whispered in hushed tones among lost media circles, was a collector of the strange and obscure. His room, a chaotic shrine to forgotten anime, was his sanctuary. One day a package arrived, a battered VHS tape labeled simply, Episode 13. The tape was old, the plastic brittle. An unsettling feeling washed over Renji as he slid it into his VCR. Static crackled, then the familiar opening of Starlight Academy, a defunct magical girl anime, flickered to life. But something was terribly wrong. Yuki, the anime's bubbly protagonist, usually brimming with optimism, seemed different. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Her movements were jerky, unnatural. As the episode progressed, subtle glitches appeared, a flicker in her eyes, a distorted line of dialogue. Then it happened. Yuki turned directly to the camera, her eyes wide with terror. "Can you hear me?" she whispered, her voice laced with desperation. Renji froze, his blood turning to ice. This wasn't part of the show. Yuki began to break character, questioning her reality. She spoke of a suffocating feeling, of being trapped in a loop. The vibrant colors of Starlight Academy seemed to darken around her as she desperately searched for an escape. Renji watched, mesmerized and horrified, as Yuki's world began to unravel. The cheerful music warped into a discordant drone. The other characters became lifeless puppets, their smiles frozen in grotesque masks. Driven by a morbid curiosity and a growing sense of dread, Renji started trying to communicate with Yuki. He paused the tape, rewound it, and played it again, shouting questions at the screen. "What's happening to you?" he yelled, his voice trembling. To his utter disbelief, Yuki responded. Her eyes flickered towards the screen as if she could see him. "Help me," she pleaded, her voice barely audible above the static. "Get me out of here." As Renji delved deeper into the mystery of Episode 13, he began to uncover a sinister presence lurking behind the scenes. He called it the Shadow Director, an entity that seemed to be controlling the tape, manipulating Yuki's reality. The Shadow Director's influence manifested in increasingly disturbing ways. Glitches became more frequent, the animation more distorted. Yuki's pleas for help turned into screams of terror. Renji felt a growing sense of unease, as if he, too, was being watched. The line between reality and fiction blurred as Yuki's world began to bleed into Renji's. Objects from the anime appeared in his room, a discarded magical girl wand, a torn piece of Yuki's costume. The air grew cold, and shadows danced in the corners of his eyes. Renji realized that the Shadow Director wasn't just controlling the tape, it was reaching out, trying to pull him into Yuki's nightmare. He was no longer just a viewer, he was a participant in a terrifying game. Yuki, in a moment of clarity, managed to convey a message to Renji. "He's watching you," she whispered, her voice filled with dread. "He knows you're trying to help me. You have to stop watching before he takes you too." Renji hesitated. He was so close to uncovering the truth, to freeing Yuki from her prison. But the warning was clear. Continuing to watch the tape would put him in mortal danger. Renji faced a terrible choice: abandon Yuki to her fate, or risk his own sanity and possibly his life to save her. He thought of Yuki's desperate pleas, her unwavering spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. He couldn't abandon her. He decided to fight back, to confront the Shadow Director and break its hold on Yuki. But he knew he couldn't do it alone. He needed help, someone who understood the world of lost media and the dark forces that lurked within it. Renji reached out to other members of the lost media community, sharing his findings and his fears. Many dismissed him as a crackpot, but a few listened, intrigued by his story. Among them was a seasoned investigator named Aiko, known for her expertise in decoding cryptic messages and uncovering hidden truths. Aiko, initially skeptical, was soon convinced by the evidence Renji presented. She saw the genuine terror in Yuki's eyes, the undeniable presence of something sinister controlling the tape. She agreed to help him, but warned him of the dangers they faced. Together, Renji and Aiko began to analyze the tape, searching for clues to the shadow director's identity and its motives. They discovered hidden messages embedded in the static, cryptic symbols woven into the animation. The messages spoke of a forgotten animator, a man driven mad by his obsession with creating the perfect anime. He believed that he could trap souls within his creations, achieving a form of immortality. The shadow director was his digital ghost, a manifestation of his twisted desires. The animator, before his death, had created a ritual to bind souls to his anime. The ritual required a viewer, someone who was deeply invested in the show, to serve as an anchor. Renji realized with horror that he was the chosen one. The shadow director was using him to strengthen its hold on Yuki, to trap her in the anime forever. He had to break the ritual, to sever the connection between himself, Yuki, and the animator's ghost. Armed with the knowledge they had gained, Renji and Aiko prepared to confront the shadow director. They knew it was a dangerous game, that they were facing an entity with unimaginable power. But they were determined to save Yuki, even if it meant risking everything. They set up a ritual of their own, a counterspell designed to disrupt the shadow director's control. They gathered ancient texts, lit candles, and chanted incantations, their voices echoing in the dimly lit room. As they performed the ritual, the tape began to react violently. The static intensified, the animation became more distorted. Yuki appeared on the screen, her eyes filled with terror. "He's here," she screamed. "He's coming for you." The shadow director manifested as a swirling vortex of darkness, its presence suffocating and malevolent. It lashed out at Renji and Aiko, trying to disrupt their ritual. The room shook, the candles flickered, and the air crackled with energy. Renji and Aiko fought back, channeling their energy into the counterspell. They focused on Yuki, on her unwavering spirit, on her desire to be free. They visualized her breaking free from her prison, escaping the clutches of the shadow director. Slowly, the vortex of darkness began to dissipate. The static subsided, the animation stabilized. Yuki's eyes cleared and a genuine smile spread across her face. "I'm free," she whispered. "Thank you." The tape went blank. The shadow director was gone, its power broken. Yuki was free, no longer trapped in the anime. Renji and Aiko had succeeded, but the experience had left them shaken. They knew that the world of lost media was full of dangers, that there were forces lurking in the shadows that should not be disturbed. But they also knew that there were stories worth saving, that even in the darkest corners of the internet, hope could be found. Renji never watched another lost anime episode again. He learned his lesson, understanding that some mysteries are best left unsolved. He kept the episode 13 tape as a reminder of the horrors he had witnessed, a warning to others who dared to delve too deep. But sometimes, late at night, he would hear a faint whisper in the darkness, a voice that sounded like Yuki's. "Thank you," it would say, "but he's still out there. He's always watching." The story of episode 13 is a cautionary tale, a reminder that the line between fiction and reality is thinner than we think. Be careful what you watch, what you consume. You never know what might be watching you back. The internet is a vast and dangerous place, filled with hidden secrets and forgotten horrors. Are you brave enough to explore its depths? Or will you become another victim of the shadow director, trapped in a never-ending nightmare? Don't let the darkness consume you. Share this story with your friends. Warn them of the dangers that lurk in the shadows. Subscribe to this channel for more tales of lost media and unexplained phenomena. And most importantly, be aware of what you're watching, because you never know who or what is watching you. Leave a comment below if you've ever experienced something similar, and let's unravel these mysteries together. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and remember, the screen is always watching.